I want to introduce myself first of all, tell around the people around the world who I am, what my name is, where I was born, and how I came to believe in Jesus, and what my experience with Jesus is, and what do I think about the Bible, what do I think about Jesus, and how man can get to heaven, and why the world is suffering, what is the cause of all this suffering in the world. I want to tell my viewpoint. First of all, I want to begin with my testimony. My name is Johnson Korlapati. Korlapati is my family name and Johnson is my name. My father named me Johnson after a missionary who came to India very long ago. So that happens to be my first name, Johnson, and Korlapati is my family name. Okay, now how I was delivered from a very dangerous situation. About 10 years back, I fell ill. I came from America to India and I was bit by a dangerous mosquito, dengue. As far as I know, this dengue mosquito came from Egypt to India, so I was bit by that mosquito and I became sick. So sick I cannot describe my great suffering I went through. So, with the help of some of my close associates, I sought help from hospitals in my native place, Warangal, which happens to be in Telangana, India. I went from hospital to hospital and everybody checked me. The hospital checked me and found that I was about to die. They refused to give me admission in any hospital. They thought I was very close to death. The reason was, as the disease progressed, the platelet count within my blood decreased to a level where the blood will start flowing. I would start bleeding. So that's the reason why almost every hospital in Warangal district, Telangana, India, refused to admit me to their hospital. They just sent me away. They checked me and sent me away. So finally, after going to some from 5 or 6 hospitals here, the last hospital where the doctor examined me, he told me that I was close to death. So he advised me to go to Hyderabad, the main city within this district. That was the only hope of my probable recovery. So I took a ambulance from Warangal to Hyderabad, and we were driving to Hyderabad in night. 2 persons were with me. I thought I was close to dying. Between me and death there was just one step. So close to dying. So I kept praying within the ambulance while the driver was driving the ambulance. It was a journey of some 3-4 hours journey from Warangal to Hyderabad. So I lay lying in the stretcher in the ambulance. I kept praying to God, if you save my life, I would teach your gospel to more people. That was my only prayer. Save my life. If you save my life, I would preach this gospel to more people in the world. I thought I was a very special man. I was a believer. That makes me no doubt special. There is a very special relation between God and me. I thought certainly I was a special person. God is not going to kill me that easily. So I was thinking, no, God is not going to take my life so soon. There are lots of things I have yet to do in this world. So, but coming so close to death, it was really mysterious. Why God will take my life so soon from this world? So finally, finally we reached hospital after some 3-4 hours. And when I went to hospital, they admitted me, they checked me, my platelet count within my blood came down to some 26,000, while it was supposed to be some 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, or at least 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh. That was the normal count, but I came down to 26 platelet count. So they admitted me and they put me in a room. They gave some medicines, and finally they injected platelets only, not full blood, but platelets injected into my blood, and finally I recovered. So it was a deliverance from very terrible situation. I came so close to dying. So my desire now, very often I feel that I must teach this gospel to more people. And that's what I am doing now also. I have that strong feeling. I am living. In fact, God extended my life to preach this gospel. And what is this gospel? According to Bible, Jesus is God, the very Creator. He came down from heaven. That is, God, the Creator, became man to save His own creatures, which we are, from our sin. He is a good God. He is a holy God. He has to punish sin. He cannot simply forgive us and let us go. He has to punish because He is a God of justice. He is a God of love. He is a God of love, therefore He came down as man. He humbled Himself and He took our punishment upon the cross. He laid down His life. He shed His blood, which is price of sin. He died actually, buried, and on the third day He rose again. He conquered death. And what brought about the death? Death is actual result of sin. Adam, the first man, sinned, and that sin is also imputed to us. Some people may deny this. They may think each man is responsible for his own sin. According to Bible, where also Adam's sin was imputed to us, just as Jesus' righteousness is also imputed to us. So Adam's sin is also imputed to us. We are sinners by that, and also we sinner. We received Adam's nature, and we are sinning, all of us. So Jesus came down to destroy. Take away, bear our sin, and also defeat death and completely remove the death, destroy the death itself, which is result of sin. In fact, that means we were not created to die. Adam was not created to die. But he died. The reason was sin. God actually warned him, the day thou shalt eat thereof, thou shalt surely die. It is physical death and spiritual death. And he died. He lived some 700-800 years or so, but finally he died, which is a result of sin, disobedience to God. So we are also dying. We inherited. We are His children and we are also dying. Jesus came to destroy death, take away sin, bear sin and take the punishment himself and destroy death also. So, this is gospel. Jesus, God, being God, came down to bear the sin of His own creatures by dying for them on the cross, shed blood, buried, and then he conquered death. He came out of the grave. He went up into heaven and sat on the right hand of the Father. And now, this is gospel. Good news. Good news to all sinners. Simple salvation. There is no price for it.
Word of encouragement for those who are sick. Yep.
So, this is gospel, and the Bible very clearly tells us, he that believeth, excuse me, Jesus commanded, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. He that believeth not is condemned. Simple. So, he that believeth not is condemned. Baptism is not essential, although we do take baptism, but the main thing is believing the gospel that Jesus, God paid for our sin and have opened the gates of heaven to every sinner who repents and believes in him. But he that refuses the gospel, no matter how righteous he is, how good he thinks he is, and which religion he is practicing, unless he comes to the cross, repents and believes in Jesus, he cannot see heaven. And that is not my view. It is Bible view, and I believe Bible teaching. Once again I repeat, he that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, he that believeth not is condemned. So if you are not believing the gospel of Christ, you do not have any hope of seeing heaven, sir. I'm sorry to say that, but that is what the clear teaching of Bible. You need to believe Jesus is God. God's Son, God, prophet also. He is both man and God. Here is something I want to explain to you. There I was talking, Jesus is God. And Jehovah is Jesus' Father. Holy Spirit is also God. God exists in these